Okay guys, so today we are going to be learning about the different parts of the mainsail and the boat, and then we're going to talk about why they're important, and then we're going to talk about the rules of the water, okay? So, let's start off. I'm going to explain each of these parts of the sail here and parts of the boat and why they're important, and then afterwards we're going to play a game where you guys are going to try and label where these parts are on the boat based on what I've told you, okay? So, let's start with the sprit pole. The sprit pole is an attachment on the bow of the boat that is used for spinnaker. We're not going to be using a spinnaker today, but that's what its purpose is. Second, we're going to talk about the battens. So, the battens go inside the batten sleeves on the mainsail, and they're designed to give you better shape in your sail. Next, we're going to talk about the boom vang. The boom vang is a pulley system that attaches from the boom to the mast, and it allows you to give it slack or pull it in, and it keeps the boom from riding up in waves or conditions. Next is the telltales. The telltales tell you a lot about your boat and the way you're sailing. So based on the telltales and the way that they're moving in the wind, you can tell if you need to let out your sail, pull it in. You're able to adjust your boat based on the telltales, okay? And next is the main sheet. So the main sheet is a pulley system that attaches from the boom to the inside of your boat, and it is used to either let your sail out or pull it in depending on your conditions. And this really affects your sailing. So, the next one is sail ties. Sail ties are the little ropes used on the sail to attach it to the different parts of the boat, such as the mast, the boom. So the outhaul, which we'll learn about next, is a sail tie, okay? So, the outhaul. The outhaul is used to attach the bottom of the mainsail to the boom, and it is on a pulley system, so it can be pulled in really tightly to trim your sail properly or given slack. And lastly, wind indicators. So, that one's pretty self-explanatory. It tells you what direction the wind is in, and do you guys know why this is important? Yeah.
So you know which way to point your boat.
That's
your
right,
sail.
and you know how to get, and you know where irons is. Okay, so now let's play a little game. So here I have all these parts of the boat labeled, but they're labeled with letters. So I'm gonna point at each part of the boat, and you guys can tell me which letter you think it is. Okay? So, which one do you think is the sprit pole? Anybody know?
The H.
There you go. Good job, Diana.
Woo!
Okay, good job, Diana. Okay. Next. Which ones do you think are the battens?
B.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Good job.
Is that what
Hannah.
No.
Really well. Okay, next are the telltales. So, does anyone know what letter the telltales are?
F.
Close.
Show it more to the camera.
Is it on?
No, yeah, it's still working. No, it's still on. A.
A is correct. Yeah. Good job, Hannah. Okay. Next is the main sheet. Which one do you think the main sheet is? Remember the difference between the main sheet and the boom vang? One attaches from the boom to the mast, and one attaches from the boom to the boat.
D.
Wow. That's really good. Okay.
Show it to the camera more.
And next are sail ties. So what do we think the sail ties are on the boat?
Oh, definitely E.
Yeah, E is correct.
Oh.
Good job, Diana. Okay, and the outhaul. Where do we think the outhaul is on the boat?
G.
The outhaul is a sail tie, remember? Yeah, perfect. And last is the wind indicator. Which one do you think is the wind indicator?
A.
C. No.
F.
Yeah. Good job.
F, show the camera.
Okay, cool, guys. So, that's all the parts of the boat that we're going to be learning today. And now, we're going to talk about the rules of the water. Okay? So, the first thing that we're going to talk about is starboard and port, okay? So, starboard and port on your boat are your right and left, okay? Starboard is your right, and port is your left. So, when we have two boats, this is important to know because in order to understand the rules of the water, you have to know which side of your boat is starboard and which side of your boat is port, okay? So when we have two boats on the same tack, meaning that both their sails are in the same direction, then it's not a starboard and port rule. It's leeward. So the boat that is the stand-on boat or has the right of way on course is the leeward boat, okay? And the difference between the significance of windward and leeward is that windward is the direction that the wind is coming from, so upwind, and leeward is downwind. So can you think of an example when you're on the boat where you can see leeward and windward?
The bow.
Close.
The
stern.
No.
The
The
side.
starboard.
Anyway,
Starboard.
so when you're in your boat, when your boat is leaning, the higher side of your boat is upwind, okay, windward, and the lower side of your boat is leeward or downwind, okay? So when you have two boats on the same tack, the leeward boat has the right of way because it's less maneuverable, because it's getting less wind, because the windward boat is blocking. So when you have two boats that are on opposite tacks, meaning that their sails, meaning that one is on a port tack and one is on a starboard tack, so their sails are in opposite directions, then the boat on the starboard tack is the boat that has the right of way, or is the stand-on. So here's an example, and I want you to tell me which boat has the right of way. So these are our boats, okay? And these are, sorry, 1 second. And these are our sails. So what's the first thing we notice about this?
They're both going to be going into each other.
They're both getting wind from different directions.
Exactly. So what does that mean if they're on opposite tacks?
They're going to hit each other.
Chelsea, no.
Oh.
It means, yes, if they don't do something, okay, in order to not hit each other, they have to determine which boat has the right of way and is going to stay on course and which boat is not, okay? So, which boat has the right of way?
I think.
The front boat.
Yeah.
Because it's in front. A little.
That's not the reason. So, when we look at the boats like this, hold on, I have to face it with my own arms so I can, this boat is the boat with the right of way, but it's not because it's the front boat. It is because the wind is coming from starboard or right, okay? So, when we have two boats on the same tack, okay, meaning their sails are in the same direction, and the wind is coming from here, which boat has the right of way?
The
This
side
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know why?
Because no.
It's the leeward boat, like we just talked about, okay? So this is the upwind boat because it's towards the wind. It's getting the wind first.
Oh.
This boat is downwind. So this boat has the right of way. The right of way is on the water is pretty much based on mobility and speed. So if you're not a very mobile boat, and compared to a lot of boats on the water, sailboats aren't, then you're going to have the right of way. So it's the same thing here. This boat has less maneuverability because it's having its wind blocked. So therefore, this boat has the right of way, and this boat has to change course because it has more ability to, okay? So when you're on the water, if there are power boats, then generally sailboats will have the right of way because they're less maneuverable. But when you have a large crater boat or large yacht that isn't able to turn as fast as a sailboat, then that boat has the right of way and you have to change course. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you guys a scenario, okay? And then we're going to talk about why it's important. So, Hannah and Chelsea went out on sailing separately. They didn't know each other in separate boats, okay? And they were both on opposite tacks, but Chelsea didn't know which side was port, so both of them thought that they were the stand-on boat and that they had right of way. So what ended up happening is that they crashed. So why is that a problem? If we don't give right of way, or if we don't understand who has right of way, why is that a problem?
Because you're going to crash.
And what's the problem with crashing?
You're going to die. You'll sink.
If you're okay, well, especially in sailing school, okay, we're using the club's boats, so you could first of all hurt yourself and hurt others, and aside from that, you could really damage the boat, okay? So that's why it's really important to know who has right of way on the water and who does not, okay? So that's all for today, you guys. It's a really good lesson.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. I thought we were so
Snap. Let's go sailing.
Sailing. Yeah.